My wife just turned 65. She has Alzheimer's. She's had it for 9 years. We were living down in the States. I was retired, and we came back to Canada for that reason. In the last 2.5 years, the Canadian government, through different Canadian agencies, and no, I cannot blame strictly BC because it is federal, not provincial, had put me through hoops, made me run circles and everything else to just get her a little bit of comfort that she so rightly deserves after 25 years of teaching our kids here as a school teacher, and the last 2 years of her life volunteering to work in the schools for free to help the kids. And in return, the latest thing the government has done that's upset me more than anything else, November 24th, she celebrated her 65th birthday, even though she has no idea who I am, who she is, or even where she is. The Canadian government took her pension disability of $590, which helped me pay towards her room and board in a home, and reduced it to $41. I was stunned. I don't know how many people here would be stunned. When I called the Canadian Government Service Center, I got 3 answers from 3 lovely ladies, and then I went to Sharon Shanks, who's the director of OAS. This is the answer I got. Mr. Rubin, she's 65, she's no longer disabled. Mr. Rubin, we're sorry, but at 65, disability benefits end. She might still be made disabled, but according to the Canadian government, she's well again. She doesn't need the disability benefits. When I spoke to Sharon Shanks, and I'm mentioning her name on purpose because her message to me was the most horrifying of all. Mr. Rubin, we go by the Canadian laws, Canadian books, and this is what our government has decided. At 65, we pretend that you no longer exist and you've been reborn again. And as a reborn Canadian who wasn't born here but in Israel, even though she fought in 2 wars, even though she served in the military, even though she's worked hard in Canada for most of her Canadian life, she only is entitled to $41 a month Canada Pension Plan. Now, could you please explain to me how at $974 for her room and board, I'm supposed to come up with the difference of the money to guarantee that she doesn't end up in Hastings Street like all the other homeless people? Because unfortunately, I had to leave my job at the age of 50 to take care of her. I don't have an income. I have some investments I cash in every year. And the joke is, those were investments I made with after-tax dollars. But guess what? I'm now paying double taxation because I'm paying taxes on those dollars as I'm cashing them in. Is that fair?
Boy, what a story. Thank you for your... There's so many parts of that story I want to pick up, but let's cut to a couple of the most important things. When I talked about the Canada that I care about, the Canada that you care about, it's a Canada in which this doesn't happen. This isn't just about you, it's a Canada in which this doesn't happen. A Canada in which if you're caring for someone you love, stricken with Alzheimer's disease, you get help from a compassionate government and you don't get nickel and dime. I can't get into the detail of this, but I think I feel, and I think the audience feels, a sense that something has gone badly wrong here. My mother and my grandmother spent the last years of their lives in Alzheimer's. My mother got Alzheimer's when she was 63 years old. So I've lived a little of what you've lived, and all I can do is extend my personal sympathy, but also say something else. One of the key things that we have committed to as a party is to family care. That when you get someone in your family who gets sick and needs care and help, the federal government should give you a tax benefit to help you pay for the costs of home care. That's part of a compassionate solution to this problem. But we come back again, it's not just the story about you, Mr. Rubin, and your wife. It's a story about what kind of Canada we want. And we don't want a Canada in which this story happens. Thank you very much for your time.